Hi, this is Jack Shitama, and today I want to share with you about the growth mindset. This approach to learning was developed by Carol Dweck, who did her research at Stanford, and the name of her book is Mindset. So if you Google her name or the book Not Mindset or Growth Mindset, you will come up with all kinds of material about this approach to learning and to growing. What Dweck discovered with students in her research back in the 1970s was that belief in one's ability affects decisions related to learning. And I would apply that to not just learning, but growing and developing as a person. What she found was that fixed mindset people believed that their intelligence was a fixed trait, and then growth mindset people believe that intelligence can be trained or developed, that the brain is like a muscle, that it is a growth organ. Now, talent is always the starting point, and some psychologists would actually disagree with Dweck and say that intelligence is somewhat of a fixed trait, that it's determined by genetics, and so that there's going to be a cap on an individual's intelligence. So I think I would actually apply this to the term achievement. That achievement is more about the effort that we put in. It's more about how resilient we are and how we learn. And so talent and intelligence are a starting point, but they're never the end all and be all. In fact, in the fixed mindset, what happens is that fixed mindset people believe that they should look smart at all costs, and that what they do should come naturally, and that if I have to work hard, I must not be smart. So having this fixed mindset actually makes us embarrassed when we can't do something. In fact, in some of Dweck's research, she found that as many as 40% of students actually lied about their test scores because they were ashamed of them. 40% of fixed mindset students. On the other hand, the growth mindset has an approach that learning is what's most important. That failures are not something that is actually a reflection of who I am as a person, but failures are just another way to learn. And so when someone has a growth mindset, they actually focus more on effort, on working hard, and doing their best to learn as much as possible. Um, Interesting thing about the fixed mindset and the growth mindset is that how we praise kids can actually help them develop one or the other. And in fact, this is something I learned too late as a parent. My kids are already grown, but Dweck discovered that when you tell a child that she is smart, that actually helps to reinforce the fixed mindset. So that she begins to think, I'm smart, and if something doesn't come easily, then I've got a problem. I'm not. There must be something wrong with me. I just can't do it. And in fact, what is interesting about prodigies is that most prodigies actually end up not achieving very much because they come to believe in their talent, their natural ability, and they don't add hard work to that. And so by the time they reach adulthood, if things don't come easily, they give up. So it's really important when we praise children to not praise them for their intelligence, but to praise them for their effort. To say, "Oh, you really worked hard on that. That's great." Or if something comes easily to them, to say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I should have given you something that was more of a challenge. I'm sorry I wasted your time." So that you are in helping to instill in them this idea that what's important is not their ability or their intelligence, but what is important is their willingness to work, to learn, to fail, to learn, to understand that they're not going to be good at everything, but that they can work on those things and get better. And if you look at high achievers in our world, those people who really make significant advances in our learning and our technology and our society, you will find they're almost always growth mindset people. They're people who relish trying something new and failing and learning from it and growing and developing. So it's important to understand that this growth mindset is something that really helps us to become lifelong learners and to continue to grow as persons. And what I would say is that the growth mindset is something that can be learned at any age. So if you have a fixed mindset right now, don't worry. You can start to train your mind to relish failing and learning and falling short, so that you can grow in your ability spiritually and emotionally and professionally. So the difference between the fixed mindset and the growth mindset is that fixed mindset people are focused on their performance. That's what matters. And they believe that comes from this innate ability or a talent. And because of that, they don't recover well from failure. On the other hand, growth mindset people tend to focus on goals, on learning goals, and believe that they can achieve mastery and competence through their own effort. This is really important. And they view mistakes and failures as learning opportunities. So, if you've ever seen somebody who is really talented or intelligent, and they always seem to underachieve, it's likely that they had a fixed mindset, and this explains why really talent and intelligence uh, don't aren't great indicators of achievement in our world. On the other hand, you've probably met somebody who always had to struggle. They weren't the most intelligent, they weren't the most talented, but they worked so hard and they never gave up and they were resilient, and they achieved much more than other people who maybe were more talented or intelligent. So I share this with you because as you learn to develop habits, as you learn to set goals and achieve them, you can help yourself by having a growth mindset, by realizing that who you are in terms of talent and ability and intelligence is not fixed, and that effort and focus and learning from your failures and mistakes is really the way to increase what you can do and what you do in just about all aspects of life. So, God be with you, and may you have a growth mindset.